Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of Winds of Change. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, it's on Steam. So on the last Let's Play, we learned the battle plan, went into the city and into the library, where we met a very old, very famous historian. And now we're here. Well, we're not here, but you know. Helen returns to the chambers of the Triumvirate. Noticing the absence of Shane, they're a bit confused. They don't assume the worst, and ask Helen to brief them.
Shane stayed behind to lead the naval attack. He plans to trim their forces as much as possible. Like you anticipated, they're arriving by sea.
That is a good question, as opposed to what? Because looking at the map, it looked like the only place to get to Balteus is, oversea.
Good. Then things are going according to plan. We'll have you wait in the atrium for their arrival. This means that you'll be our last line of defense.
I consider it an honor, but I have to say, I'm worried for Shane. His chances of survival are pretty slim out there.
He knew what he was signing up for. If he killed even one of the rebels, then he was successful. Focus on protecting this castle, Halen. That's more important.
Yes, of course. I'll make sure no one passes the atrium. If they try, they'll fall as quickly as they enter.
Thank you, Halen. It's important that they have a false sense of security. Don't give them too much resistance until it's absolutely necessary. If they think they're going to win, they're more prone to slipping up. It's up to you to figure out when that moment is and take advantage of it. Even if it takes your life, you ought to prevent them from entering our chambers.
Helen kneels, complying without hesitation.
Yes, of course. My life for the Triumvirate. I'll fortify straight away and wait for their arrival.
Helen strides out of their chambers with a sense of purpose. After he leaves, they turn to each other, displaying soft smiles.
Hopefully this time, things will be different.
So it is time stuff. Maybe. After finding a private room, I pace around in circles. I've had nothing but bad luck when it came to getting rest. Even after we left Museo, I've been too worried to fall asleep. I try reading books, but none of them are able to capture my interest. Pacing the room, I basically succumb to the anxiety assaulting my mind. However, and thankfully, a knock on my door soon returns me to lucidity. As soon as I open it, Damick enters. Takes a deep breath, sounding both annoyed and relieved. I don't blame him, he's gone through so much in a short time.
We finally put the librarian to rest. He sure likes to talk a lot, and about nothing at all. Lots of answers in the form of riddles. Boring stuff. It's pretty interesting that he didn't resist, though. He said he won't help us, but he won't stop us either. His true allegiance is to history. That's what he kept saying. Doesn't make much sense since he faked so much history in the past. But no matter what happens next, he'll have a lot to write about. If we win, he'll record it. If we lose, then he'll record that too.
I guess his stance makes more sense if you look at it that way. No matter what happens next, somebody would need to write about it.
His main condition was that we don't harm the library. Pretty good terms, especially in exchange for a foothold. We may not have won yet, but we've seized Baltean soil.
It's true, no one else has gotten this far. I can tell that we stand a chance at winning, and it feels amazing. But I have to ask, how do we know that this Algus can be trusted?
We don't. But he can't do much if he's locked up. Any chance he had at intervening is long gone by now. He can try when we leave, but we'll be prepared to fight by then.
I nod, thanking Damick for the update on what's going on.
Of course. I just wanted to make sure you were all right. It must be hard to sleep right now, given all the weight on your shoulders. The others aren't sleeping either. Maybe you should spend some time with them.
He's right. If I can't sleep, that is probably the next best idea. But I wonder if our bonds are strong enough to warrant some time together. This could be our last night alive, after all. They might want more protective of their time. Want to be more protective of their time. I guess there's no harm in checking. I'll see him out of my room, with a new goal in mind. Turn my back to face the vast emptiness of the private room. I wonder who I could invite over. This would be a good night to make some final memories, just in case the worst comes to pass. You can spend final one-on-one time with every loyal comrade. Click the arrow on the top right when you're ready to proceed to the story, so we get in the final battle into the end of the game. Well, let's spend some time with Husbando. We should probably save. Quick save. As I'm lost in thought, a knock at the door jolts me awake. Without hesitation, I open it up. Orlok steps inside. He seems calm. He's seen tons of battles in his lifetime.
Hey, Monarch. I just wanted to come see you. We won't be getting much sleep tonight after all.
Oh well. It's true, and I don't blame anybody for it. Especially Ulrich. We were fighting his former masters. This would be harder on him than it would be for us.
I can't stop thinking about our visit to Alarinthia. You know, I broke your nose and I feel awful about that. But I couldn't let you get in the way and compromise our plan. It needed to come down to just Pro and myself. It was the only way that we could guarantee our victory. I guess I came here seeking forgiveness. I feel foolish, though. Your forgiveness was implied when you removed that curse from me. I mean, you wouldn't do something like that if you resented me, right? But still, having it implied, it's not the same as hearing you say it.
I can tell what he's after, so I tell him that he's forgiven. To be honest, it's the last thing on my mind right now. If it secured us our draconic alliance, it was worth it.
And that's the thing, though. Forgiveness shouldn't come so easy. When you're on the throne, you'll need to learn how to punish. I lied to you. I hurt you. I shouldn't deserve your forgiveness.
Then why did he come here asking for it? I tell him that he deserves forgiveness because he meant no ill will. Did I put... Okay, I did. Probably should reset this. He did what he did out of necessity to help further our cause and win.
I guess what I'm trying to say is, you're lucky it was just your nose. In that moment, I would have done whatever I deemed necessary, Monarch. And given the opportunity, I would do it again. I would go as far as I needed. Do you still think I'm worthy of forgiveness? Who knows what I might have to do during the final battle? The fate of the world is in the balance. I can't hold back.
It's gotten into him all of a sudden. He's acting odd, but I try not to bring it to his attention. For all I know, he's just anxious about the upcoming battle. But still, I tell him that he's forgiven. I can't hold him accountable for things he hasn't done. What he has done, however, he has more than made up for.
As long as we're both on the same page. I expect the same from you. Don't hold back in any way. If I'm in danger, don't stop to help me. You have your goal.
He wants me to just leave him for dead?
I know what I was getting into when you removed my curse. I'm vulnerable. For the first time in thousands of years. But while I'm vulnerable, I also feel alive, Monarch. It's amazing how much the possibility of death can motivate us. In some ways, that's what drives us to accomplish our goals. Without some sort of end, there's no time for us to seize.
He would know better than me. I don't even know how old he is. At that point, the years would just start to blur together. His demeanor makes sense now that he's facing his mortality. His actions have consequences that would affect the rest of his life. In the past, no matter what he did, he could just outlive repercussion. I tell him that I'll do it. I'll leave him behind, only if necessary. I do have my goal, but part of that is ensuring my comrades stay alive. Pledge seems to satisfy him enough, and he changed the subject.
Thank you, Monarch. I knew you'd be strong enough to make the tough decisions. Since we met, I've seen nothing but a capable ruler in you. And that was before the attack on the Rebel HQ. Remember back in Valinor, when we were at Peregrino. You've been leading this world for much longer than you think. And I have to say, I agree with your choices. Turning Peregrino into a barracks to protect your homeland. Anybody who cares about their people that much is a great leader.
He smiles at me and places a hand on my shoulder.
When I look back on times like that, I realize how far we've come. Complete strangers to lovers. And it all happened so fast. I wasn't expecting it, but that's how I know it's real. Some people pursue love like it'll make them whole. But it's not right to place a burden like that on somebody else. I think you can only really enjoy love when you love yourself first.
Damn.
And that's what you helped me do, Monarch. It's like the more I know about you, the more I know about myself. And I don't want to stop learning. I want it for the rest of my life. I'm just grateful that now it's a life I deem worth living. If I don't lose it on the battlefield, then I want to spend it with you. Being able to grow old and say goodbye, it's an odd thing to desire. But when you lose the ability to die, you start to miss it. In fact, you can almost forget what it's like to feel alive. I did. At least until I first laid eyes on you.
He takes the hand off my shoulder and laughs.
I'm going to quit while I'm ahead. Don't want to give away my wedding vows. This is actually some prime material, now that I think about it.
Pulling me into a hug, he places a kiss at the top of my head.
Let's continue this after the battle, alright? Unfinished business is just one more reason to survive. In times like these, we need as many of those as we can get.
I nod and see him out of my room. He's a bit different, but I don't blame him. Anyone can change when given the ability to die. I'm just thankful that he's staying optimistic about it. It makes me realize that he really wanted it. It wasn't a hasty decision. And with that optimism, I know he'd survive and live a long, happy life. Hopefully. Okay, now for our other husbando. I invite Valessa in my room, since she seems unable to get sleep. It seems to be the case with almost everybody. We're too worried to sleep. She scans the room, taking in all the sights. It really was an impressive place to behold.
This room is pretty cool, Monarch. Makes sense that you'd get it too. Must feel good, being royalty and all. I'm pretty confident. After hearing Domic's plan, I get to follow you to the castle too, so that makes me happy. You can trust me to have your back if anything bad happens.
Let's hope it doesn't come to that.
I've been practicing with those daggers I got from Mazeo, actually. They took some getting used to, but I think I can hold my own. Not that those suits of armor require much to take down.
It's true, they were pretty weak. The triumvirate focused on quantity, not quality. Hopefully that would be their downfall as we proceeded.
To be honest, I'm really scared that we might not survive. I mean, victory usually comes at a cost, but what will we pay? If I make it out of this without my friends, I'll just feel so hollow. Especially since I'm expected to lead Valinor after all of this is over. Without you and Fortem, I just feel so lost in this world. You give me strength, and I'll be needing that strength.
I tell her that I'm not planning to go on going anywhere. Whatever comes next, we'll handle it as a team. We didn't come this far, just to perish at the end.
I really need to stop thinking so far ahead. This is the eve of our final battle. I should focus on that. Getting lost in thought on the battlefield would be the death of me. So, let's just enjoy this moment, shall we? This might be the last time we're able to hang out. I hate to tarnish it by freaking out and acting stupid.
I tell her that it's fine. I enjoy her company regardless. Besides, I'm sharing a lot of the same worry. We're in this together. When we met up to launch the attack, we have no idea what came next.
Well, at least I don't feel so alone anymore. Fortum is always so carefree, no matter what happens. Talking to him, you'd never guess that we could all die here. Before I stop being so gloomy, can you promise me one thing? It'll make me feel a lot better, and morale is what we need right now.
I nod, but it's really dependent on what the favor entails.
If I do end up dying out there, I just want Valinor to be okay. Can you promise me that you'll find a capable elder to replace me? They don't have to share my views. I just want our home to prosper.
I nod. That's definitely something I could do for her. That is, if I survived. But I don't display such doubts right now. It's best I try to look strong and resolute for all my allies.
Good. Then we can move on to better things. You know, I've been thinking about how far we've come. I've seen so much, and I feel like a totally different person. I wonder what would have happened if things were different. What if your induction ceremony wasn't canceled? What if you never got that deceiving vision?
She steps forward and places her hand in mine.
Would we still be as close as we are right now? You know, that moment we shared in Mazeo was so special. Given time, I want this bond to grow even stronger. Do you?
I nod. I make the choice to pursue this relationship after all. Made the choice. But she's right. We might not be this close if not for all the hardships. At least it's proof that, even in war, beautiful things can still happen.
I don't want to rush this and do something stupid. Part of me wants to, given the circumstances, but we shouldn't. Let's just make a vow. We'll both survive and take things slow.
With a smile, she squeezes my hands, and I do so in return. Taking a step forward, she places a soft kiss on my cheek. I smile back and wrap my arms around her as tight as I can.
I really hope we make it through this.
Try not to get sad, but my eyes tear up ever so slightly. Hugging her tighter, I rub my hands up and down her back. We've come too far to lose each other. That's why I tell her.
Thank you.
A few moments later, we break the hug. But when we do, I feel closer than we ever have before.
Thank you so much for inviting me over, Monarch. I feel a lot better than I did just a few minutes ago. I guess I'll see you when we gather to launch the attack.
I nod. That time was fast approaching. I see her out of the room and let out a huge sigh. Talking to my friends, maybe the last time, it's crushing me. But if I didn't, and they perished, I'd regret it forever. This is an excuse I give myself for enduring this pain. Turning to face the big, open room, I wonder what's next. I guess we go down the list. Spend some time with Sovy. There's a knock at my door, more urgent sounding than I anticipated. It couldn't possibly be time to launch the attack. It must be something else. As soon as I open it, Sovy steps in the room, a look of anxiety on his face.
Sorry, I just needed to get away from that atrium, Monarch. Everybody keeps telling me what to do, and it's getting on my nerves. I have no problem helping out your cause, but it's my choice to do so. I followed enough orders while I was under the Triumvirate's control. Joining you and your army, I thought I'd finally be a free man. I mean, I guess I am. Ignore me. I'm just complaining.
He shrugs and starts to wander around the room. I tell him that it's okay. He shouldn't have to follow orders here. I give him free rein to do whatever he sees is the most useful.
You know, that's why I like you. You're the only person who lets me do what I want. Everybody else keeps me at arm's length, commanding me. After all I've been through, I think I want to be the commander. I always thought I've been meant for more than what I was given. When I met you, and you accepted my offer, I knew I was right. At first, I only planned to help you until we took down Halen. But we've grown so close, and your comrades are so accepting. I've never felt such a sense of belonging. A sense, perhaps, of family.
With a smile, he takes a book from the shelf and opens it up.
You know, I've been reading about the monarchy. They seem to be more similar to the triumvirate than we thought. The triumvirate demands perfection. The monarchy sought the perfect future. And it seems like neither group cared about what costs they paid. But it's impossible to pinpoint the moment the monarchy was imprisoned. Many of these books are dated with a system I'm unable to decipher. So how advanced was the monarchy when the triumvirate took action? Were they silencing a real threat? Or perhaps a potential threat? One is more acceptable than the other, but neither are just. I find myself wondering what would happen if someone opposed the monarchy. What if somebody got in the way of them in their perfect future?
No
Would they be
filter on
killed,
that.
just like enemies of the triumvirate? And furthermore, how did they possess foresight to begin with? You inherited it from them, but where did they get it from? Sorry for rambling. There's just so many questions. It might be best to just forget the monarchy ever existed. Start over, from scratch, under the banner of the rebellion. Why reclaim a world for someone who would be your enemy? The triumvirate controls us in an attempt to keep everything pure. The monarchy, too, controlled their subjects, just for a different reason. We want to live free, right? Free to do what we want and live how we want.
And I nod.
Why settle for the lesser of two evils? Forget the triumvirate. Forget the monarchy. Carve your own path. Follow none tread by others.
I shake my head, unsure of how to react. This world didn't belong to the triumvirate, but not to us either. It was simply their creation, given free will by the monarchy. It seems to have been a conquest meant to reclaim their world. They may not be alive to see it happen, but we should rule it like they did. I have the blade, too, and I was from Valinnorth. I always looked toward the future. All of those things considered, I was uniquely qualified to rule in their stead. I couldn't just use everything they gave me, and then throw away their ideals.
You don't understand.
He throws the book aside and pins me against the wall. Ooh. I stand strong, meeting his gaze, almost as if issuing a direct challenge. He gulps his grip is strong, and I can tell he's really passionate about the subject.
If you let them control your actions, then you'll never truly be free. No matter who you align with, you'll inherit ideals that harm, like poison. You need to look to the past, not the future. Avoid the mistakes they made. That's what I did, and look where it brought me. Standing before you, able to think of little else. I just don't want to see you fall. You're better. Better than the triumvirate. Better than the monarchy. You're the only person that's ever treated me like I mattered. I'm not a slave to you. I'm not just some means to an end.
He still has me pinned against the wall, and I feel him tremble. A few moments later, he lets go of me, but I pull him back in. He looks away from me, and I can tell his breath, and I can feel his breath against my neck.
I kept telling myself that you weren't giving me any special treatment. I wanted to believe that you'd extend the same courtesies to anybody. But then, you got me those writing utensils, and I became so confused.
I can feel a rage well up within him as he speaks. Without warning, he punches the wall beside me with a loud grunt. However, one of his hands still rests gently at my side. He's conflicted.
I hate that I can't stop thinking about you. I hate that I care more about your future than my own.
He strikes the wall once more, and then looks me dead in the eyes. The second hand returns to my side, and he pins me against the wall again.
I hate you.
I didn't think we were, getting a second sausage, but okay. And a moment later, our lips press together. I rest my hands on the sides, then quickly turn the tables. Spinning both of us around, I press them against the wall, and we continue to kiss. As we take it further, Sovy emits noises that enforces confusion and anger. We move to a different surface, the table, and then the bed, as we continue. It felt as natural as it did abrupt, and this is how we spent the rest of our time together. Okay, I thought Ulrich was gonna do some of that, but okay. Didn't think we were getting extra sausage on the side. But with it being 27 minutes, I think that's a good time to call it, because these things will take a bit of time. Next Let's Play is probably going to be So anyways, end of this Let's Play. So comment, because I like comments. Tell me what you like, dislike, tips, tricks, otherwise. If you like my YouTube and would like to see it grow, then please like, subscribe, and share the videos that have grown. Please remember to obey your animals to help control the pit population. And until next time, Let's Play, me, GamerWolfSix of Winds of Change. Also, I could have sworn I said as friends. I might want to go back and look at that. So thanks and see ya.